I shall explain the basic practice of Sahaj Marg for the benefit of all. There is first the practice, second the attitudes. The practice consists of 3 steps: morning meditation, evening cleaning, and night prayer meditation. Meditation means to think continuously about one thing, and we are supposed to take as the object of meditation that which we wish to achieve. And here, because we are involved in realization, God realization, self realization, therefore the object has to be of that nature. The goal of Sahaj Marg is an abstract goal called the ultimate self. Therefore, we cannot have any name or form for meditation, nor can we have even any qualities or attributes of divinity. However, Master felt that it would be impossible to meditate on an abstract for most people. So in Sahaj Marg, our Master has taken as the object of meditation what he thought, what he knows, what he has experienced to be the subtlest thing that we can have for meditation without making it gross or with a form or with a name. And that is divine light in the heart. So this has to be very clearly understood that in Sahaj Marg, the object of meditation is divine light in the heart and nothing else. And as I have already told you, meditation means to think continuously of the same thing. What we do is to sit comfortably with our eyes closed and have the thought that our heart is filled with divine light. We sit comfortably because during the period of meditation, the body should not interfere and break our meditation. In the Sahaj Marg system, there is no special asana prescribed. Patanjali himself describes as asana as something which you can hold comfortably over a period of time. So we are allowed to choose a position in which we can comfortably sit for 1 hour, but we are not allowed to lie down and meditate. Because if you lie down and meditate, the relaxation produced will put us to sleep. During meditation, if we have to change our position, it is permitted because the object is to be in such a situation that the body does not disturb. Regarding the light in the heart, we are not supposed to see it or try to see any light in the heart. As Babuji Maharaj has explained, it is a mere supposition that the light is there. Now we are supposed to have this idea or the thought continuously for 1 hour. The prescribed period is 1 hour and not less. Nor are we supposed to meditate for more than 1 hour at a time. But if we have spare time, there is no harm in breaking the meditation, relaxing for 10 minutes and then meditating for another hour again. When we sit for meditation, we will of course have disturbing thoughts. We are taught not to attend to those thoughts, but to ignore them. Because Master's research shows that when we attend to thoughts, the thought takes power from us and becomes stronger and stronger. So when we ignore the thought, we find it drops off. There may be another thought in its place, but it is treated in the same way. Master says, treat them as uninvited guests and they will go away. If we do this systematically and with alertness, we will find that in hardly a few months, we can reach a state of thoughtlessness. Here it is necessary to understand that all these thoughts come from inside us, our own thoughts in the form of samskaras. If we attend to the thoughts when they rise, they become powerful, they multiply and they go back inside. But when by not attending to them, we allow them to fall off, the inner store of samskara becomes exhausted quickly. That is how we reach a state of thoughtlessness during meditation. It is of course necessary to remember that thoughtlessness is not our goal. So I think that I have dealt with the morning meditation, except to say that it should be done before sunrise, as Babuji has said. Master has clarified that at the time when the night meets the day and the day meets the night, there is a balance in nature. And when we meditate at that point of balanced nature, it helps us very much in our progress to achieve quickly our goal. Of course, this applies to normal situations where there is a day and a night. Please don't ask me what we should do in the North Pole and the South Pole. But wherever and whenever possible, this is how it should be done. Now we take up the second thing, which is the evening cleaning process. It is to be done when our whole day's work is over, not before that. During the day's activities and thoughts, we accumulate so many impressions. By doing the cleaning when the day's work is over, we try as far as possible to get rid of that day's impressions. So essentially, the cleaning evening process is to remove the formation or accumulation of impressions gathered during that day. The older and deeper accumulation, which is more gross, they are not just impressions, they have become grossness, that has to be dealt with by the master and the preceptors. The way of doing this is to sit comfortably like in the morning meditation and to imagine that the day's impressions are going out from behind in the form of smoke or vapor. Now the word imagine should not be misunderstood because it is a very active process in which we are supposed to use our willpower. It is therefore a process where we use our willpower to remove our own impressions. In the morning meditation, there is no use of the willpower. Please note carefully. The cleaning process involves very specifically our willpower. We come to the third thing, the prayer meditation at night. It is a very simple thing. We are advised to sit on our beds for about 10 minutes, repeat the prayer mentally a few times, and meditate on the meaning of the prayer. This prayer meditation is to be done from 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then you go straight to sleep. It should be the last thing we do before the day is brought to an end. Now, coming to the use of the prayer, it is to be repeated only once before we start our morning meditation. It has no place in our evening cleaning process. It again finds a place in the night prayer meditation when it is repeated a few times mentally. It is not to be used like we use mantras in Hindu meditation to be repeated again and again throughout the day. Some people ask the question, if it is so effective, what is the harm in repeating it? Master's answer is that there can be too much even of a good thing. And repetition makes a thing grosser. So please note, prayer once in the morning before meditation, few times at bedtime, mentally repeated for making the meaning clear for meditation. Now I would like to say something about the prayer too. Some people have the understanding that we are praying to God for something when we say this prayer. But if you say it properly and think over what you are saying, you will find that it contains just 3 statements of fact. The first line says, "O Master, thou art the real goal of human life." We are stating a fact. Here the word master refers to God, as Babuji himself has written in his books. Master has written very clearly, the real master is he and he alone. I am clarifying this because some people say, how can we address a man as a master or a guru as a master? But we are not. We are addressing God in the prayer. The human masters, as Babuji explained, are the representatives of God. So there should be no difficulty about any abhyasi from any religious background using this prayer for this purpose. So the first line of the prayer really says, God, you are the real goal of human life. And in a sense, we are reminding ourselves of what is the goal we are trying to achieve. The second sentence says, our wishes are putting bar to our advancement. We are not asking God to remove the wishes or to change our wishes or anything like that. We are again making a statement of fact. That is, we can say with an attitude of humility, we recognize that we are the problem creators ourselves. We humbly state that our wishes are putting bar to our advancement. If effectively used, this prayer will prevent us from developing wishes for the future. Third line says, thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. So here we recognize the fact that by our own effort, nothing is possible. We are stating to ourselves a fact that he alone can help us to take us up to his stage of existence. Again, please note, we are not asking God for any help whatsoever. So the prayer consists of 3 stages, where the first one puts before us the goal. The second one tells us what is the only impediment that is an impediment to our progress, namely our wishes. And the third one states that the goal, that is God himself, has to assist us to reach him. You will all remember that Babuji has said prayer is begging. That is, the traditional way of prayer is begging. So this prayer of the mission has no element of begging or demanding or requesting, nothing in it. One question can be asked, which very few people have so far asked. Why do you say, oh Master, and not, oh God? This is my question to all of you. I would request some of you to answer this tomorrow morning, because there is a very, very deep and very meaningful reason for it. So kindly think over it and let me have an answer tomorrow morning. So these 3 steps of Sahaj Marg practice we have gone through. Now we come to the attitudes. What are the attitudes we have to develop? Our 10 maxims have stated very clearly. We have to have basically and essentially an attitude of humanness. We have to try to maintain this attitude, recognizing the fact that we may not already have it, but we are trying to develop it. I say this because Babuji has told us that we start life as animal human beings, and then we have to develop to normal human beings, and then have to go on to divinization. The greatest benefit of the meditation in the morning is that it trains us to regulate our mind. As Babuji Maharaj put it, instead of our being the slave of our mind, we have to become the master of our mind. So by holding one thought in the mind during meditation, we slowly gain progressively more and more ability to regulate that mind. We use the mind to regulate the mind. Many people are confused how this is possible. But one example will make you realize this is what we do all our lives. If you have a dog and you want to train it, you use the dog itself to train itself. Similarly, to master a horse, you have to ride it again and again and again until you have mastered that horse. In passing, I must say that the modern educational concept of training coming to us from outside has somewhat perverted our thinking on the subject. So there can be no training program. Any program has to be used to train ourselves, to regulate ourselves. This is the problem with the 10 maxims. We appreciate its value, we recognize its merit, but we don't apply it to our lives. For our Western sisters and brothers, the first maxim is the stumbling block. But Babuji once explained that if you are not able to do the first one, it is not necessary to forget all 10, go on to the second, go on to the third, whichever you can do, please do it first. There is no importance specifically in the sequence in which we adopt them. Anywhere we can start, we can end. It is not like a staircase that you have to climb the first step first, then the second step after that, then the third step after that. It's not like that. The important thing is to start somewhere and train your will by doing something positively. The will is strengthened every time we do something, and it is weakened every time we fail to do something that we have to do. So meditation helps us to regulate the mind, and by regulating it, 95% of our problems are solved. Meditation is therefore a process, not the goal in itself, but it is a process which helps us immensely, and therefore we do it. Having got a certain degree of ability to regulate the mind, we have to take the aid of the cleaning process, because our tendencies and our habits, all these are precisely the result of samskaras in us. So unless the samskaras are cleaned off, there is no point in having a regulated mind at our disposal. So the cleaning process has to be done very systematically and with application of our willpower. The cleaning process therefore removes all the basis which is formed in us in the past for our present tendencies. The simultaneous progressive regulation of the mind helps us in not forming further samskaras by gaining a certain degree of control over that mind ourselves. So these two practices balance each other, support each other for our evolution. Meditation by itself without cleaning is, in my mind, useless, because it will be like having a very powerful car bogged down in slime and mud. And cleaning by itself is like having a beautiful road but a car on it without any engine. So there is a progressive refinement of the motive power in man, which is his mind, which produces his thoughts. And the cleaning removes all the impediments in the way of that progress. This is to be remembered very carefully, because we will find that in the religious history of humanity, meditation has been going on from time immemorial. There is not any very great record of achievement. Because as Babuji explained, whatever be your progress in meditation, if the samskaras are not removed, they remain as seeds which can come out and flower when the appropriate environment is created for it. Therefore, even those who rose to very high levels have often fallen, because at that level the samskara suddenly found an environment proper for its flowering and it bloomed out. The other point is that so long as the samskaras are there, if you have more power, the tendencies become more powerful. If you transmit to a thief, he will become a perfect thief. So that is the very great importance of the cleaning process in our system. Now that is the practical aspect. What are we to do in all this? The first responsibility is to do the practice thoroughly and systematically, regularly. Morning meditation, evening cleaning, night prayer meditation, they must be done every day, irrespective of whether you have sittings from preceptors or not. The second thing is to try and develop constant remembrance, which will come in any case if the practice is systematic. Master has clarified that when constant remembrance becomes possible, meditation loses its importance. As an example, I can say it is like focusing a microscope on an object. Because cleaning removes the objects which we don't need, meditation regulates the mind, and the two are put together as one. Constant remembrance too is only a step. It is meant to develop love for the Master. As Master said, we remember that which we love. So to create love, remember it first. So from the base of the practice, we come to the level of the tendencies which are cleaned off, leading to constant remembrance. That must now progress to a stage of love for the Master. And if and when this third stage is achieved, more or less our work is finished. Because as Babuji explained, the beloved now begins to remember the lover. Our love knocks on his heart, and when his heart opens to our love, our work is over. As Babuji repeated so many times, that is where spirituality really begins. Now you would have understood that this is correct, because all the rest was practice, mental practice, physical practice, mental attitudes, change of attitudes, all with the purpose of developing love for the Master. I would request you to note this carefully, because in the past there have been many systems where love was not an aspect of the for the yoga or the system of meditation or tapasya. There was no love behind it. So if you carefully study what was the achievement of the past great people on this path of religion or so-called spirituality, it was only powers, ability to perform miracles, fight wars, things like that. So what they achieved was an approach to divinity from which they asked for certain things, you see, and got those things, but they did not get divinity itself. My Master says, if God gives you the entire universe, it is still waste unless He comes with you. All of you are familiar with the various temptations. You see, the temptation of Christ, the temptation of Nachiketas, Yama offering something. In all these cases, they offered unlimited life, unlimited dominion over the world, only to tempt man away by gifts rather than by the self. We must be very careful that similarly we don't ask our Master for gifts of power, gifts of long life, gifts of happiness, but we ask Him for Himself. Only love can make this possible. We all can go to a friend's house and come back with a bottle of wine or a piece of cake, but we don't go to a beloved to come back with a piece of cake. As Babuji used to say so beautifully, he would tell people coming to Shahjahanpur who are very unhappy when going away. He used to say, either you be with me or you take me away with you, but nobody does either of these two things. So in a relationship of love between two people, either the lover goes to the beloved or the beloved comes to the lover, only so that they can be together, not to take things away from each other. The prayer states this very beautifully, because the first line says, thou art the goal. You are the goal, not your powers, not your beauty, not your money, not your riches, not the universe, but you are the goal. The last line reaffirms this very forcibly. It says, as we all know, only the beloved can give himself. You cannot ask a mediator to bring the beloved to you. We can put this prayer in ordinary worldly language, and we can say, my beloved, you are my goal. You only can give me yourself. And what is standing between this is my foolish wishes for your power, for your beauty, for your wealth. This is all the prayer says, nothing more. So I think I have given some idea of Sahaj Marg, and the proof of its realization will be shown when we meet again and again, we see brighter faces, more longing hearts, more love for the Master. I pray for the quick progress of all. Thank you.